It's so hard to take your own advice. You're the friend that has all the words for all your friends, and you have all the words of wisdom and all the tricks and tips and flips and dips for all the people that you know. But why is it so hard to take and obtain and remain in your own advice? I, for one, am having that challenge. I'm having that struggle in my life. I have placed my sights on documenting my life, on showing more of my life, showcasing my life. But to do that, you actually have to pause and be present. But as a man in society, I'm 29, trying to grow and build an ambitious person, dreamer. You're working, you're working, you're working, you're working, you're working, you're helping, you're serving, you're doing. But in the doing, you do not know you. And I've shared this before, but I don't know. I'm having a challenge. I'm having a struggle of doing less. And sometimes I find myself, I don't want to use the word uninspired because I am. That's why I'm doing. But when it comes to trying different things, it's like I can't be childlike. And that's not me. There's a side of me that's so rigid because I'm doing, and all I know is the things that I'm doing. Like I'm learning about the things I'm learning and doing perfect. But the idea to explore more, if it doesn't automatically check out in the ways that I would deem it in my head for it to check out, then you kind of throw it to the side. I don't want to be like that. I'm not that person deep down. And speaking it out, obviously you have agency and you have the ability and the opportunity to look at what you're doing and have times like this to reflect and be like, bro, I'm not going to do that. Like you have the precious gift of awareness. Now with awareness, it comes a choice. Choose. But for this moment, it's like, dang, can I just express? All right. Because that's my nature as well. You just want to fix everything. Fix. But then you don't sit in what you actually do well and what you are. I thought about this earlier when I was writing. I always think about the future. And as a male, I want to be a father one day, and you almost wear that hat now. I want to be a husband one day, and you almost wear that hat now. And there's a person that you have to become to be able to fill those shoes. And you are responsible. I'm a believer, and the man is the head of the household. Not head is domineering. No, it's just first in accountability, responsibility. Like, bro, you gonna have to answer to God as a man. And so I want to be able to be that person now, so I'm not caught off guard. Because God gave me a brain. He gave you a brain. And so using that as an example, sometimes I use something as beautiful as that, and I twist it in the wrong ways. And I forget that I have this treasure in jar. Did I say treasure? I have this treasure in jars of clay. I'm not a freaking robot. I'm not AI. I'm better than AI. Made in the likeness and image of God. Hello? Anyways, but sometimes you get far ahead of yourself that you realize that you're not yourself. And then you get hard on yourself, far ahead of yourself, trying to be something that everybody else wants you to be. And you are living your life by the rules of how you see it in your head. But when you understand that the system, the framework, the models of success that you see in your head, if that does not align with the kingdom, for me as a believer, the kingdom is the model, the concept that I go off of. Everything's better than God, in God, with God, following the plan that God has. And if I was the enemy, Satan, after my life, after your life, what is the first thing I would do to somebody with the traits like you, using me as an example, using you as you, Norrence, an ambitious dreamer? I would use you to tire yourself out, to work till you strain yourself, till you burn out. Then you feel depressed because you feel like the works of your hands, it's not amounting to much because you can't see it from a different lens. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't experience that. I do. You can see so many people powered up by what you are. And for me, content, shout out. I said shout out. King Noah underscore on Instagram. Mind Believe Podcast on Instagram. I post content, faith-based content, motivational content, and the content, I get floods of DMs humbly, and it's powerful, it's moving. But sometimes I'd be lying if I said it. When I'm in this work, grow, you got to go. I get on there and I just want to get off and I want to grow more. But you understand that you don't do it for growth. You do it for connection. And so you lose the perspective that you had when you started something. What does that mean for you? It means don't forget your purpose. Don't forget your why. Don't allow your schedule to dominate you. Don't allow anything to rule over you. Because even if you rather have a mind set on winning and goal chasing and running and doing all that you can, the enemy will use that against you and try to get you to do things in your strength. There comes a point where you have to pause and obviously not submit yourself to the enemy and pause and say, okay, I give up. No, submit yourself to the word of God. The word of God causes you to pause, to be still, to resist the enemy, and he flees. The enemy has different tactics for different people, for your framework, for your traits. If you're somebody that is close and even in your gene pool, this is the thing. For me, I believe that we all have things that are weights towards or for our individual selves. And sometimes those weights, the enemy will use against us. For me, I'm ambitious. My pride is when I'm at my worst. My pride is when I'm at my best. And it's my pride when I'm saying, like, ain't nobody better than me. God is no respecter of persons. I'm going to push forward. But when it gets too high, you really think that you can do everything in your strength. It's not the truth. But at the same time, it's God inside of me. That's truth. That leads me into all truth. In all roads lead to the Bible. The good books say I can do all things through that truth, through Christ in me that strengthens me. And so it's like a scale. It goes from persistence to patience to push to pace. It's interesting. What I'm telling you here is the rules that you have in your mind about your time, about your life and what it is. Get rid of those rules. For me, even with this, I'm like, bro, you're not giving enough value and the way that you're framing it. And I know I say this a lot, but I'm sharing it because that's my experience. Every time I turn on this mic, whenever I turn on this camera, I have those thoughts that roll in my head. But the opportunity that you have, that I have, is to answer with a yes. I'll follow the rules in my head that say I should just not post, or to say, no, I'm not going to submit to that voice. I'm going to push past. I'm going to resist. And it's an active resistance that says I'm going to be persistent in challenging the me that I think that I am. If that didn't make sense, who cares? Challenging the me that I think that I am, meaning I am persistent in being patient and applying pace, because that is my biggest challenge. On Wednesdays, that's my rest day from the gym. And today I recognized that I have a hard time not doing anything. I was listening to a worship song. It's called Nobody, I think. I think it's Nobody by Elevation. It's like, light of the world, oh, the lamb that was slain, lion who rose, mighty to save, oh, the fullness of God. Don't be kept in a grave. It's a beautiful song. I cried like so many times. I played that chorus like, I'm telling you, over 50 times. I'm not even kidding. I was just laying in my bed because I was forcing myself to just sit there. But then I found myself getting up and I'm like, I got to record content. I got to edit content. I got to do this. I'm like, bro, turn everything off. Sit your big fat butt down, dude. And I find that to be a struggle for me. For you, what is that? How do you address that? How do you take your own advice and the advice that you would tell somebody else to apply it to your life? I need you to do that. I love you. Bye.